GTA 6 Online hasn't even launched yet, and it's already running into a serious problem. Australia's new age verification laws could force Rockstar to lock out a huge chunk of players before they even get into the game. This could set a massive precedent for the entire gaming industry, and I'll break it all down for you. Let's get into it. So here's what's going on. Australia has been aggressively pushing new online safety legislation, and the latest move directly targets online platforms that could expose minors to harmful content. And yeah, that includes online multiplayer games. The country is now enforcing age verification checks, and a game like GTA 6 Online, with its mature themes, violence, and open online interactions, fits squarely into the crosshairs. Now, what does this actually mean in practice? It means that Australian players may have to go through a formal age verification process before they can even access GTA 6 Online. We're not talking about just clicking a button that says, yes, I'm 18. We're talking about potentially submitting government-issued ID or using a third-party verification system to prove that you are old enough to play. And look, on the surface, you might think, okay, this sounds reasonable. We probably don't want young kids in a GTA Online lobby. But the reality is way more complicated than that. First, this puts a massive burden on Rockstar and Take-Two to implement region-specific systems just for Australia. That costs time, money, and development resources. Second, privacy concerns are huge here. Gamers handing over government IDs to play a video game? A lot of people are not going to be comfortable with that regardless of their age. And here's the thing that I think a lot of people are missing. GTA Online is not just a game, it's an economy. It is one of Take-Two's biggest revenue generators. We're talking about a platform that has generated billions. Yes, billions, with a B, in microtransaction revenue since GTA 5 Online launched back in 2013. So anything that puts friction between players and that online experience is something Take-Two is going to take very seriously. The Australian gaming market might not be the biggest in the world, but it's significant enough that Rockstar can't just ignore it. And more importantly, what happens in Australia doesn't always stay in Australia. Other countries are watching. And that's really the bigger story here. Australia is essentially becoming a testing ground for how governments around the world might regulate online gaming going forward. The UK has been flirting with similar age verification ideas. The EU already has the Digital Services Act, which has its own set of rules about protecting minors online. And even in the United States, there have been growing conversations in Congress about holding game companies more accountable for underage access to mature content. So if Rockstar has to build an age gate system for Australia, you can bet that same infrastructure could be rolled out globally if other governments follow suit. And this doesn't just affect GTA 6. Think about every online game with mature content. Call of Duty, Mortal Kombat, any M-rated game with an online component could eventually face the same requirements. Now I want to be clear. Protecting kids online is obviously important. Nobody is arguing against that. But the method matters. And forcing players to hand over sensitive personal documents to access a video game raises legitimate questions about data security, privacy, and whether this is even the most effective way to keep minors safe. Because let's be real, kids have been finding ways around age restrictions on the internet since the internet existed. I'll be very curious to see how Take-Two responds to this. Do they comply and build a verification system? Do they fight it legally? Or do they simply restrict certain online features in Australia? Each of those options comes with its own set of consequences. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Should governments be requiring age checks for online games? Or is this an overreach? I genuinely want to hear your take on this one. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button, because we cover all the biggest gaming news, leaks, and updates right here on this channel. Now here's where it gets really interesting from a timing perspective. GTA 6 is expected to launch in fall 2026, and Rockstar has historically launched their online components a few weeks after the base game drops. That's what they did with GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, so Rockstar likely still has some time to figure this out before GTA 6 Online actually goes live. But we also know that Take-Two has their next earnings call coming up, and investors are going to want clarity on anything that could impact GTA 6's revenue potential. A regulatory hurdle in a major market is exactly the kind of thing that gets brought up in those calls. And if Australia's rules end up being stricter than expected, it could even influence how Rockstar designs certain online features or monetization systems going forward. There's also the question of whether this affects GTA 6's online content. Could Rockstar tone down certain aspects of the online experience specifically for the Australian market? We've seen games get modified for different regions before. It happened with Left 4 Dead 2, it happened with multiple titles in Germany's market. So it's not unprecedented, but doing it for something as massive as GTA 6 Online would be a whole different challenge. So yeah, this is definitely a story that we're going to be following closely. What happens with GTA 6 and Australia could genuinely shape the future of online gaming regulation worldwide. I'll be covering every update as it develops right here on the channel. If you found this video helpful or interesting, drop a like, it really does help out. And let me know down in the comments, would age verification actually stop you from playing GTA 6 Online? Because I think that's the real question. I'll speak to you very soon. Goodbye.